Ha! There we go. Ha ha! Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Part 3, session. I don't know, whatever this is. Season, whatever this is. Cool.
Yeep.
All right. Cool. Hi. Yeah. So, hi. You are inside the place, and it's one of those things. Like I said beforehand, they kind of chased out the patrons that were inside. They're not super like they made them go. And if they were dilly-dallying, they made them go quicker. But, like, they didn't, like, take their money. They didn't take their gold. They didn't take anything. It's bad enough that they're already going to be taking the food and wine and beds that are here that these people already paid for. So, yeah, you make your way into the tavern and kind of, after a little bit, are able to, like, settle down and relax. Season 2, Session 2. Thanks, Anno. Are able to settle down and relax or whatever it is. So you're good to,
Season 3.
Whatever.
Yeah, I was like, this is not
Season 3,
2.
Session 2. Sure, whatever it is. I don't know. Do your characters look to have any particular conversations with one another, or do you just kind of like allow the hours to slip by?
Ophios is actually... How much wine is in this place?
Not a small amount.
All right. Is it like in a barrel?
Yeah, well, I mean, multiple barrels, like small, not full.
Is it a tapped barrel?
Yeah.
You'll see something very unusual. Ophios actually goes over and starts filling up goblets and trying to down them as fast as possible.
I obviously know that, like, this is going to do nothing to him, right?
You don't know that.
I don't know that?
No, but you've never seen him drink. You have never seen him drink.
Oh, I thought that we would have, like, learned why. Okay.
The big guy, after noticing it, would probably look at him and give a bit of a concerned look to Rena, but wouldn't say or do anything. And Cuddy would be like, is he really going to take all of it? Because
after about 2 or 3, he might actually take one of his daggers and stab the barrel.
Okay.
Out of frustration. On the top, not like to make it explode or anything, just like pissed.
Okay.
Because essentially it doesn't do anything.
No. You take a couple of drinks. I mean, granted, I don't know if you know how alcohol works. It takes at least 15 minutes for it to start hitting your head anyway. It's not like you drink alcohol and you're like, woo!
Right. But Ophios doesn't know that. He just knows this is something Yandis used to do, and Yandis used to drink.
Oh, I'm like, John just
not stabbing stuff.
Chug. Well, that too. He used to just chug like.
Oh, I was rolling inside to see if I would be able to tell if this is like would I kind of like get the idea that it's not doing anything to him because of what I know, or?
I mean, he is down 3, and just stabbed the top out of frustration, threw the mug, and walked off.
She'll turn to the other two and just say, we just need some time.
Nobody here's rushing you. You do what you gotta do. And again, the big guy just continues writing his notes into his book and doesn't say anything. Just tosses a bit of a side look at Mathis, but doesn't say anything. Not here to make any comments. And yeah, that's that. That's all they do. And you guys are able to allow the hours to pass to relax and actually get some sleep. Go find your way to a bed upstairs that's comfortable enough. Maybe it doesn't remind you too much of Yandis, I guess, because you guys are being all.
I mean, Ophios probably walked up there already after throwing the stein.
Yep. You walk up there.
Anno. Look at Anna's comment.
Oh, what do you say?
Oh, I did.
Dear Diary, it's me with the Edgelord party. Aww. Oh, it's so accurate. It's painful. So anyways, yeah, you guys are making your way upstairs, walking fast. No faces pass because you scared them all away. So you go upstairs. You're able to take a long rest. I mean, unless you're looking to have a particular RP with one another, nobody here bothers you. Not right now. Not for the evening yet. Eventually, the next morning, you're able to wake up, and when you wake up the next morning, there's you probably sleep a little bit longer than you maybe expected to. how much you were chased, actively running, how many fights you got into, how many injuries you took, how many. I mean, listen, potions are nice because they heal you, but your body still has to process that shit. Like your liver is still like working to get that out of your system, right? So like, your body just was exhausted, just worn down. And so, oh look, Rita's gobbling down the. It's okay. Hey, listen, Rena. Blood of Christ, right? There you go.
I can go get a beer if I wanted to. It's a really old beer, but
is that the
like
blood of Buddha?
Too old to drink?
It's probably skunk. It's probably skunk beer, but I would still drink it.
You're gonna let me drink
it's
alone?
bottles. It's bottles, so it's not as bad as like a can would be.
I keep having to take cough drops. I'm definitely not having beer or wine to go with cough drops.
Are you okay?
I am perfectly fine. You don't worry about me. You sleep probably a little bit longer or later than you expected to originally, just because you're just so worn down from everything that transpired. And so when you finally wake up, it's one of those, you wake up the next morning, your body aches, you're sore, but you're alive. It's more than you can say for some people. And you remember where you are and the hefty task that you have before you. I don't know who it is that make their way downstairs first, but when you do so, you can see that one of the guards was nice enough to grab up whatever supplies from inside the pantry at this place and just start like making a lot of food. I don't know if you've ever had one of those moments where you spent the night at a friend's house and the person that doesn't know how to cook decides to just start like throwing together supplies for everybody, and you're just like, these are eggs. That's all I'm going to say about them. That's kind of like what you end up making your way downstairs to. And there are worse situations to find yourself in right now. So I imagine each of you just end up eating your nourishment, because again, that's all we could call it. And I don't know if it's a quiet morning.
I would think Ophios would probably come down first and just, without eating or anything, just ask, "Where's Mathis, Cuddy?"
He said that he wasn't going to be staying in the inn. He's held up at a place a couple blocks down, and honestly, I'm kind of happy he is. He gestures towards like one of the boarded up windows. I took a glance out this morning. There's a couple of guards situated out there. This place.
Ophios dons his shield.
No. It's you gotta wait until they start the attack outside first. You might not know a lot about this town, but in Vala, there's a lot of lands that is pretty untamed compared to most of Peredhel. And Zholgov more or less covers the eastern side of the mountains. They are where the military is usually kind of stationed. It's where they train a lot of them. It's where a lot of guards are. They can get reinforcements quickly. There's a lot of guards that they can just keep throwing at us until they win. That's not a small number out there.
How far away is Mathis, and what building?
He didn't say, in case, So he didn't say. I know he's going to be within a block or two, so he can have an eye kept on us. But we're just going to have to wait until he acts and hold up till then.
Ophios will just sit down and watch the stairs until Rena comes down.
Yeah, while you're sitting down, it's probably as Rena starts like making her way down the stairs, like one of those things. Ophios' attention might be pulled away slightly as the guy starts to say the line I'm about to say. So Rena would hear it from the top of the stairs, like right around the corner at the top of the stairs, and Ophios obviously is who he's talking to. He says, "So did he die?"
Ophios just kind of ignores it for the time being.
Not sure if you're ignoring him or not. He presses the matter, unfortunately, and says, "The little one, when we saved you guys before." Did he die?
He's gone.
He nods. We've all lost a bunch in this cause.
This was different.
He looks at you, gives you a look like for you to expand on that.
He just won't reply. He'll just like sigh real deeply and essentially break eye contact if there was ever any eye contact, like purposefully looking away from him.
Okay. He just he doesn't actually say anything. He doesn't press the matter anymore. He kind of like gets the point at this point. It's like, oh, okay, let me just
the way I would say it's more of like shameful.
Mm-hmm. Wait, elaborate on that. I'm so sorry.
He's doing so in a shameful manner, like he feels somewhat at fault.
Gotcha. Yeah. Like you are looking like you're ashamed. I gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, so he just nods and kind of goes back to the cooking. Rena, you heard that at the top of the stairs. I imagine you maybe stopped to listen to the conversation.
Yeah.
And then you can start making your way down the stairs.
I'll just wait till they're like done or whatever, and then I'll come down.
You see Rena coming down, of course.
Ophios will just gesture to the window and be like, looks like we're gonna be here a bit.
Can I look out the window?
Yeah. Are you trying to be discreet about it, or are you just kind of like popping your face out there?
Discreet.
Okay. Roll me a stealth, but you have advantage, and then roll me a perception. Okay, beautiful stealth. Now roll me that perception. Normal perception.
Yeah,
why do you suck?
I don't know. I just do.
Hey, that's a pretty good roll for you.
There we go. There we go. Did better.
Yeah. So looking
she was just making sure to clear those bad numbers away before she rolled.
Throwing them away. Just throwing them away. I don't want those.
So looking outside, you can actually see that there is a good number of guards over by the front entrance and the back entrance. Just like a quick glance, you can see it's probably on either entrance. It's probably about 12 or so, making 24. And that's just at the entrances. Who knows what might be stations around nearby and so on and so forth. It's not like situations that you found yourself in Momly. In Momly, you guys often had the upper hand. You broke them apart, so on and so forth. It seems like they've got you surrounded.
Who all is in here? The one of the guards, and then who else?
So there was the two guards that were kind of injured. They almost died yesterday, and you haven't seen him yet, but you believe that the big guy, Erwin was his name. Yeah, you believe that he actually is here too. So it'd be the 5 of you.
But we only see the one guard down here.
Question.
Yeah, the other one you've seen kind of like pacing around upstairs.
Oh, okay.
Does the guard down here look injured at all?
Honestly, looking him over, old injuries, and you can see he's got like dressings to recent wounds, but he doesn't seem to be gingerly moving or acting in such a way that would show that it's impeding him in any way. Okay.
It was a debate on whether or not I was gonna reach into the bag and give him a health potion.
Cool, you didn't have to. Okay.
I'm gonna go talk to the guard.
Sure. That same one that he was just having a conversation with?
Yeah.
Sure. As you come walking up to him, he actually puts a plate down in front of you. You're literally the first person he serves, just because you have to walk up to him as he was scooping this. We'll call it a quiche.
It's an assortment of all kinds of things.
It was probably could have been an omelet, but he let it sit in the pan for so long it solidified like a quiche. So we're just gonna go with that.
A quiche, a questionable quiche.
It's a questionable quiche.
She's gonna take the plate over to Ophios.
Okay. It's kind of like one of those.
Just set it down in front of him and then go back to the guard.
Okay. He seeing what you did, he hands over another plate to you, and says, "What's your story?"
I guess it's more of a story now than it was in the beginning.
He plops some food onto his own plate and sits down, picks up a fork.
She's going to ask him a question instead and just say, where are you from?
It's a bit far from here. You probably have never heard of it. It's a place called Vigil.
Have I heard of it?
No.
Okay. Where is that in terms of, or in relation to here?
Southwest actually. It's a small place. You probably never heard of it. We actually do what we can to try to keep that the case.
From the south, huh?
Are you familiar with the deer? You are.
Yeah.
Yep. It's in there. It's a small, I guess you can call it a city-state. It's like, and he gestures towards like the outside of the building. It's like this, but you know, a bit more compact, and that's it. It's just one city, not part of a big network or anything like that.
What question for you, Scott? Is the guard like what race is he?
Perrin.
He's Perrin.
Yep.
She'll say being a Perrin, fighting against your own kind isn't easy.
Oh, visual. I suppose, though, I would honestly get a good crack on the knuckles for boiling it down this easy by my old teachers, but Vigil is kind of a splinter off of the Peredhel. We didn't like the way that they did things, and so we went our own way. This is over about 100 years ago now, maybe a little more than 100 years now that its foundation is. Truth be told, I'm proud to be a Vigil, but who really remembers all the lessons?
What brought you to work with Mathis Cuddy?
Well, Mathis is also from Vigil, and it's his responsibility to lay pressure against Peredhel, but most importantly, remind others that there are more than one way to serve Lady Aravel. He kind of like trails off, and you can see, roll me an insight check.
Okay.
This guy's actually kind of easy to read. You can have advantage on this one.
Okay.
You can see that he's struggling as to whether or not he wants to continue. Like, I don't know if I should say this. He has one of those kind of looks to his face as he's like looking away. You know what I mean? So.
She'll just reassure him and say, "We are on the same side."
He nods and roll me a diplomacy check.
Okay.
Normal diplomacy check on that one.
Yeah.
Get ready that luck die.
Wait, diplomacy is going to be
persuasion.
What?
Persuasion.
Okay, sorry. I was like, we don't have that.
Addition blindness.
Ugh.
It's unfortunately a 7. I mean, do you want to luck that? See if you can make it better.
I don't want to waste it.
Okay. He nods. He goes, "Yeah, we are, but you know, you have your reasons. I have mine. I suppose I've said something about me. What are your reasons?"
Well,
Anna.
the list is long. No, they I mean, everything was taken from me at a pretty young age, and I've had to work for them for so many years. It's not until recently that I've actually gained a semblance of a life again. So it brought us all the way out here. I'm sure you've heard what happened in Momly.
Well, yeah. I mean, we helped you get there, didn't we? We don't know the ending of it because, you know, we're a little occupied up here. But the fact that you're here means that there was a degree of success. Did you kill the bastards?
She'll just nod.
And he gives like a somewhat solemn, because it's not like killing means nothing to him, but also an affirmative nod. Like, good, but it sucks people had to die.
Unfortunately, it's the price.
Again, he just kind of, this time is more of like a slight head nod, like an agreement, but not as much oomph to it.
She's gonna change the subject back and say, what do you know of Erwin?
Well, he is actually from Vigil as well, but truth be told, I didn't really spend as much time with him when he was back there. He's had tasks outside of the city for an extended period of time. He never really served on the guard down there. He often worked for the leadership somewhat directly after he made a bit of a name for himself. And he had his own tasks they took care of. People aren't anchored there. We're trained young and we have pride, but we're not stuck there. We don't have forced servitude by any stretch of the imagination. We are, of course, all raised to be obedient to the laws and to respect our elders, as Lady Aravel would teach any youth. We kind of just ran in different circles. He's a few steps above mine. He's a big man, he says. And I mean, he's not wrong. Erwin is 6'4", naked. So with his boots and helm and whatnot on, he comes off as like a good 6'7", 6'8". You know, that's a massive man.
Yeah.
That's just Will.
Okay. Oh. Ophios walks over with his plate emptied. He finally ate, and he'll just say, "Speaking of Erwin, where is he?"
Well, he didn't want to be disturbed for his morning prayers, so he went downstairs into the basement.
There's a basement?
Yeah. That's where the wine's usually kept, or potatoes and stuff like that. And he actually will kind of point over to an entry, like a little hatch that would lead down there.
Ophios will go and kind of just stand by the basement stairs.
Okay. He's just leering.
He's thinking about whether he should go down or not.
Okay.
So, go ahead. Rena's gonna finish her plate. I'm gonna just say thanks for the food. I appreciate it.
He nods and says, no problem. So, is this just a temporary thing, or are you looking to join on with us? I mean, you fit the profile. You just, I suppose, wouldn't know quite who you're fighting for yet, since lack the training. Honestly, we could use some help back home with shit that's going on there right now. And he looks like a little bit of a ghost in his eyes. Kind of a bit of fear.
What's happening back home?
The rumor that Erwin brought to us when he came north is that apparently the dead are walking. Not 5 or 10, like thousands. We're finishing up what we need to do here, but with the news that Erwin gave us, we're not going to be able to continue pressing the attack in Vala. We're going to have to return home.
If that's true, I understand. She's gonna stand and go over to where the what?
Sorry, Josh in chat.
Oh, but like 12, maybe 20. Just a handful, you know. Small group. She's just gonna stand and go over to where the the stairs are, the basement stairs.
Mm-hmm.
So over by where Ophios is.
Yeah, and she's just gonna. No, she's gonna go down.
Okay. Start walking downstairs. You actually hear the sound of like metal, like scraping and kind of like little noises. You're very familiar with this. You've many times before had to try to put on and take off your own armor. It's a very, very difficult task and takes an extremely long period of time. You know that just having somebody help you put your armor on is probably one of the nicest things in the world. And when you and your friends like really got to know one another, just like one of them coming over and just like helping you, like whether beyond us or Ophios, just grab a strap for you and pull it was like, oh, it literally would save you 5 minutes and a lot of aggravation. And that crick you get in your shoulder when you're just like in that awkward position for two, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyways, when you make your way downstairs, you can actually see he is down there. Clearly his prayers must have ended by now, because he's over there and he's, funny enough, struggling putting on his half-plate armor that he wears.
She'll just kind of walk towards him and say, need some help?
He'll kind of stop in the middle of like the action he's doing. And it's one of those, he gives you a look and there's like pride in his eyes that says like, I don't want to accept the help. But at the same time, he also knows that it's not coming from a place of like condemnation or whatever, or what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, condescension. So not condescension. So he kind of like gives like a nod of defeat and will kind of turn to expose like a strap to you.
She'll go over and just help him up, tie everything up and put everything on.
Roll me a perception check while you're down there.
Oh, sorry. I was just checking out. On normal.
Does Ophios go down as well, or does he stay at the top of the stairs?
He's probably staying at the top of the stairs.
Are you happy with your 12, or do you want to modify that at all?
I don't know.
He was going to go downstairs by himself, but now that Rena did, he's like, I'm not going down there.
It's like, you take too long.
Get out of my way. Nah, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay, then you notice, like, obviously you're helping him strapping on his armor and everything. You notice on the back of the armor, there's, like, the leather that clearly has the spot that, like, houses the sheath that kind of sits in there. That's, like, newer leather than the rest of the leather straps and everything that's attached to the armor. And you can even see the holes that are on there kind of, like, knocked out to allow those straps to kind of pass through the armor. Also look kind of, like, done recently. I don't want to say sloppy, but definitely was not done at the time that the armor was created. It was definitely something that was added later on. You can clearly tell as a smith. But other than that, like, his armor is very well made. There's very intentional grooves to it. And funny enough, you can actually tell that the grooves that are in it, the design to it, is not too far off from the design of the armor that you now wear. The armor that you personally created. I mean, I'm not saying this is a carbon copy by any or anything like that, right? But this is maybe 20% similarity in like these kind of basic designs. There's enough similarities here and there that it goes, huh, like parallel thinking.
Isn't he the one who asked Rena to help him all fix the dents in his armor, or was that
in the shield upstairs?
In the shield.
Oh.
And we would say that she kind of handled it last night. Not a big, it's done.
Yeah, like quickly, just.
Yeah, probably the tinging of the shield is probably what, and like the fixing the straps and maybe switching out for other parts or whatever. Probably that noise is what attracted guards. Haha, not the people running downtown yelling for guards because the rooms were emptied. Hashtag Rena's fault.
So everything's my fault. It's fine. She'll just say, I heard about this rumor you told the other guards.
He says, as he goes over and he grabs the first sword up off of the is this after you say this after you finish?
After, okay, yeah, like after.
He'll go over and grab the first sword up off the thing and he starts like strapping it to his side, like over by his waist.
Have you seen this yourself?
What room are you referring to?
The undead army? Kind of like chuckling a little, but like also serious.
He nods, kind of like, yeah. Yep. I have a task. There's a reason why I left my home. And it was only but 10, maybe 12 miles outside of the gates of my city when it happened. When we noticed the first one starting. Without going into detail, there were a lot of bodies not far from my home, and we saw them rise. I had to make a choice. Turn back and lend aid, or go forward and do my given task. Obedience. That's one of the tenets.
What task is that?
He there's a roll me an insight check. You're rolling shit, Rena. Are you happy with your 9?
No.
I mean, it's up to you if you want to use the luck.
I don't want to.
That's your second 7 in a row.
Seriously.
Up to you, Meanie Weenie.
4.
Oh, 13.
Okay. So you notice that he says it's confidential. But as he says that, you notice that his chin, his eyes don't really leave you, but you can see there's a bit of a strain for his eyes not to break contact with yours, and his chin turns ever so slightly. You can tell he's looking off to he almost looked off to his side, down by, funny enough, where he just grabbed the first sword from. And then with deliberate motion, he turns and then very nonchalantly picks up the second sword and starts strapping it to his back.
Can I see what he was looking at?
Yeah, it was the sword.
Oh, it was the other sword.
The second sword, yeah. The one he didn't use in combat.
It's the one he kept stabbing into the ground, or
no,
he never.
The one he
yeah.
didn't use in combat.
He didn't use it at all, I don't think. But it's also a bastard sword?
Correct.
She'll shift a little bit and just say, bastard swords, huh?
It's the holy weapon of Lady Aravel. I saw you wielding one in combat, but I don't see it on you now.
She won't say anything.
Are you a worshipper?
Maybe?
Where are you from?
Taziendale. Are we in Taziendale? No, where are we?
You're in what a long time ago was a different nation, but is currently Peredhel, Vala.
Oh, okay. I didn't think so. I didn't think we were in Taziendale.
Taziendale was the northern border, like over back where you were from was Taziendale. But either way,
right.
So you say Taziendale, and he nods, understanding. He goes, hence your hesitance. You've obviously, Lady Aravel has spoken to you to one degree or another, but you have seen only a terrible representation of what her faith is. It's unfortunate what it is that the Peredhel military do in her name.
I agree.
Obedience. That is what she requires of her followers. Obedience, not slavery.
That is what I fight against.
You fight against obedience?
No,
slavery. Just trying to make a little bit of a joke.
If he's joking, she'd just shake her head.
He looks to him and says, "Do you know of her 3 tenets? They're very simple, of course."
How much does she know? I think she was like pretty well aware of most of the religion, but
you know, tolerance,
just didn't
obedience, and worship.
Okay. And what did he ask? Sorry.
Do you know what her 3 tenets are?
She'll say yeah.
Then he sees you nod yes or say yes, but it's one of those. It wasn't. Oh God. He's unfortunately one of those people that, like, if he doesn't know for a fact that you know, just because you simply said yes, like you could just be saying yes to say yes,
just to agree. Mm-hmm.
So he presses the matter and says, "Well, of course, what the 3 are like acknowledging that you said yes, but like pushing the conversation further." He says, "Of course, what the 3 tenets would be tolerance, to always tolerate all races, sexes, etc., and to use racial slurs is to use a racial slur is to have your tongue removed. To treat someone poorly due to their gender is to have your parts removed. We understand that you must tolerate all persons. To be obedient, to obey the laws of the lands that you are both from and the laws of the lands that you're in. Unless, of course, they contradict Lady Aravel's laws, which, of course, is the case here in Peredhel. Her laws supersede all mortal laws, and to break her laws is to show weakness.
What's taking so long down there?
He says, we're having an interesting conversation if you care to join. And then lastly, of course, worship. All worshippers of Lady Aravel should do so openly. And he'll actually gesture towards the charm that is slightly poking out from, not fully revealed, slightly poking out from behind your armor. He'll actually gesture at it to make sure that it doesn't come off as too aggressive what he's doing. And
would he notice, if I'm wearing my armor, would he notice the 2 eyes that I have?
Oh, yeah, I suppose, yes.
On it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Would he, like, think anything of that or no?
Because the 2 eyes are supposed to represent the eyes that are on either side of her sword when it's standing up and down, right?
Yeah.
So let me make actually a check.
Because it's supposed to be, like, ambiguous, but, like, that was, like, her way of putting it there.
I mean, he's meta, in case you didn't put 2 and 2 together. Clearly a paladin. Let me roll a religion check for him really quickly. And he'll actually gesture at the 2 eyes and says, I see what you're doing there is both overt and subtle. I can understand why you would choose to wear a guise such as this as you're fighting against the Peredhel military. You want to make sure that your point is heard, it's understood, but it also isn't confused. It's not the approach I'd take. But
well, you have your ways and I have mine.
And we can both agree that the way the Perrin do it is wrong. When he said that, he meant a nation, not the people.
She just nods. Is Ophios, did he come downstairs or is he still at the top of the stairs?
Halfway down the stairs, hand on the thing.
Just listening?
Hanging down like...
Hanging there, like, what are you doing?
Mom said dinner's ready!
More or less, Ophios is like, I want to get out of this place. Let's go.
Because she doesn't know, I guess she'll ask Erwin, where's Mathis?
He said he was going to hit the fight. I say he's taking too long. I have a task to do. I'm helping here while I'm here because I've been led this way, but I can't waste time. I have a plan, if you're willing to go along with it.
At this, Ophios continues walking down. He's like, does it involve killing the commander?
That's why we came, isn't it?
What's the plan, and how long will it take?
Well, one step at a time, we need to find our way out of this building. And for that plan, he says, between the 2 of you, I suppose between everybody in this building, I'd put my, if I were a gambling man, I'd put my money that's you and I, he says to Rena, are probably the ones that are best in, are best in the brunt of things. We should open the doors, both the front and back, and bottleneck them. Let them come at us. Let them come into the door and fight them one at a time as they pour in. And then we'll have the rest on the inside giving us aid. So as their numbers grow too many as we fall back, at least things will be a bit more even. Hopefully then Mathis, who's supposedly watching this, will join us from behind. Pincer tactic. Bottlenecked in the front and attack from behind.
Doesn't really make sense to assume that Mathis will be there. What if he ran into trouble?
Doesn't make sense to stand here and allow them to continue building their forces to protect the commander we intend to kill either.
Is there another way out of here, perhaps?
The only entrances I know are the front and back door or any of the windows.
What about out the window up top? Can you get on the roof?
He looks down at his armor and looks back up at you and says, I don't think I'll get through it.
Needless to say, what if I said my thought process is lure them in, trap them inside, burn it down?
Rena will actually like, she'll kind of like smile a bit just because of the whole lure them in, burn it down.
Erwin,
but that's it.
Yeah, she's smiling, and Erwin actually shakes his head and says, "No, that's ridiculous. Why would we want to do something so chaotic? One, we wouldn't necessarily be able to lure them all in. Two, some of them would be able to break their way out anyway. And three, we're doing untold damage to the property of innocent persons. It's bad enough we disrupted their evening and stole some of their goods. We shouldn't then go ahead and destroy their entire property. I mean, these people need to make a life after they've been liberated. It's a terrible idea.
Least amount of people in harm's way.
The same number of guards are going to die either way. Let's have a little less collateral damage.
She'll just say, okay, we'll say we go with your plan. There's only 5 of us total here. Against however many. How many did I notice? I noticed like a dozen at least.
I saw you cut 3 down in 2 breaths' time. You telling me you can't handle a swath of them yourself? Besides, and he kind of like rotates his shield arm. I'm feeling good this morning. I'm sure he could lend some aid, he says, tossing a playful smile over at Ophios.
Ophios is tempted.
Before, so obviously he's kind of like giving you a look back. He'll actually look back at Rena and say, "Is he your squire?"
She'll just laugh. She'll just look at Ophios. Let him answer.
We'll see who ends more.
He nods and says, "There's the spirit," and he'll start He starts after he kind of like readjusts the last strap that's on there. He starts walking back upstairs. As he's walking by, giving like a pat on your shoulder, he makes his way upstairs. I imagine you two might have a couple words if we go up as well, but you'll hear coming down from the stairwell him go, "Did a damn fine job with this shield." And I don't know if you guys say anything before you go upstairs.
Nah, she won't say anything. Oh, you mean to each other?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ophios would simply say, "He's bold and blunt, but also possibly stupid."
She'll say, kind of reminds me of Flint. Or Vaku.
Why not weaken some of the floorboards on one of them, have them fall to the basement? The first few that come in, and then we fight on 2 fronts that are just coming up the stairs instead. High ground.
But would we be able to see the ones coming in through the back?
The ones
I'm assuming
through the
the
back
stairs
is what I'm
only
talking
go up.
about.
Oh.
Because I'm imagining, Scott, where are the stairs located with regard to the back door, front door, and where, like, say we took the support beams out of the floorboards if they fell down. Obviously, it'd probably be the first few, not necessarily all of them.
Stairs are more located by so the front door opens up to a big kind of like wider area, and the stairs will be off to the side over there, going up to the 2nd floor. Where there are big rooms and whatnot. It's only the 2 floors. The back door is more for like getting things in and out of the kitchen relatively quickly, deliveries, drop off, so on and so forth. Less so about guests. So there's no stairwell up there.
So basically, what I'm thinking is underneath the back door would be able to have stuff collapse down into the basement. Yes or no?
Potentially. I mean, you can actually roll me a kind of like while you're in the basement looking around. Roll me an architectural engineering check. You can make Barbados proud. Oh, I'm sorry. We're playing 5e. It's a very simplified version of the game. Just roll me an intelligence check.
An intelligence check? Oh god.
Well, knowledge of architecture and engineering is actually a skill in Pathfinder.
Can I aid him? Can I aid him? Oh, okay. It's too late. It's too late.
Yeah, you're pretty sure that there's a stairwell. The floorboards would be able to fall down here.
Can I look?
Absolutely, of course.
Okay. Oh god.
Mine's a 9. It's a -1 modifier.
He's standing in a corner and looking up and going, "Yeah, the plan will work." And Rita, you walk over there and you see him staring up and saying the plan will work, just like up a corner where he's pretty sure the back stairs are. And you're like, "That's the side of the building." And like it's one of those where you actually start tracing around. You may not say it to him, but you realize that he's like looking at the wrong side. Which I don't know if you've ever been in a basement of a building you're not familiar with.
Oh, you can get really disoriented.
Yeah, it can be very like when you're familiar with it, and like even when you're like kind of familiar, it takes you a moment to kind of like recalibrate your brain. But you actually realize that this foundation is not 100% of the building up above. That it has a basement dug down, and there's an interior access to the basement, which is unusual, but it's not covering the entire upstairs. So actually the back door does not have a basement beneath it, but the front door does.
So he's looking at the back.
He's looking at a random corner in the building.
Oh, we're just a random corner?
Yeah, he's dirt. He's dumb.
She's gonna,
Ophios.
She'll just walk over to where she would know that where, like, the front is and be like, you would make more sense over here. If you wanted to try that.
I think it makes sense.
Yeah, over here.
Sure, whatever. All I'm saying is it makes sense if take out a few and then you get the upper hand if they continue coming in that way. And if not, you have them all flowing through one door instead of two.
From the top of the stairs, you hear, "Lover's quarrel? I'm getting a little restless here."
She'll just go upstairs.
Ophios will also go upstairs.
He'll look at her, and you can see the plate that he was given to eat the food. He took 2 bites, and clearly he did not finish his plate. And he'll say, he'll actually ask you as you come up the stairs, front door or back door?
Ophios will say, what if we collapse the floor of the front door so when the first few come in, they fall to the basement? You get an upper hand on high ground.
It would give us a disadvantage to retreat out the front if we need to. If we're able to beat them out front before we beat them out back and we need a fallback outside, it would ruin the opportunity. I'm not exactly going to be able to jump a gap very easy. And again, he kind of ting on his half plate. If you want to fall back, though, falling back upstairs wouldn't be a bad idea.
That's what I was thinking.
Well, how about this? Rena, you take the front door. Ophios, you take he's heard your name from others, even if you didn't directly introduce yourself. You take the stairs. Make sure that they stay clear. Lend Rena aid. I'll take the back door. And these two will just hang back. They had a rough day yesterday, so they'll just be support for each of us.
Seems fair.
Ophios doesn't like the fact that I'm assisting.
I knew it.
He'll be like...
He does not read that on you, so he doesn't play on that or anything.
He'll just say, why don't you cover the stairs?
To him?
To me?
Oh, to
yeah.
Him. Sorry, you said yeah to who?
I said to him, yeah. Why don't you cover the stairs?
He says, it's a good point. When you die, I can try to help you. And will then turn and immediately make his way to the back door. And starts he goes over to the back door and literally starts reaching to open the door. And with that, Yondas, when you open your eyes...
I'm in hell.
Oh God, it hurts. That last blow felt like an anvil to the back of your head. It was one of the most painful things. I mean, luckily for you, within moments, everything went red and black and rang so loud simultaneously, kind of like drinking a Miller Lite, that you immediately fell unconscious. You were just knocked out. When you come to, you have a throbbing headache like you wouldn't believe. Like a night of drinking Miller Lite. And you
not
are
that strong though.
You
it's
are
like half water.
It's so gross. You are in you are in a lot of pain. Your whole body aches. You as you slowly kind of open your eyes, the sun beaming down on you is so bright, it's just making the headache worse. You can feel that you clearly aren't doing well. You must have slept overnight out in the open because you're lying there and you've got the cold sweat kind of shivers as somebody who maybe passed out on the couch with no blanket on them when it was way too cold and they probably were a little sweaty before they fell asleep. You know what I mean? You do not feel well whatsoever. It takes you several moments of groaning and turning over or whatever before finally you are able to realize you're not alone. You hear noises nearby and words being spoken. You listen for a second, and you realize, though it's not your native tongue, you do understand what they're saying. It takes you a second to even realize what the language is. Yeah, I'll keep that. Yeah. You can take that there. Yeah, I want this one. This seems pretty nice. And you hear a twang on a banjo.
My banjo.
You finally open your eyes, and when you look up, you can see that there are 3 orcs sitting around you. Your backpack has been thoroughly emptied, and all of your supplies have been kind of broken up into different piles over by various people's feet and whatnot. You didn't have a bag of holding, did you? Yeah. All of your supplies are over down by various people's feet. One orc is kind of like playing with a banjo. 2 of them look like, they're orcs or whatever. They're a bit younger, not looking youthful, younger, like maybe being equivalent of your age as an orc, so probably like 20, 22-ish, if you had to guess. One of them looks much older. I mean, middle-aged, maybe older than that, of an orc, very haggard. Each of them are clearly having a conversation. They are also clearly aware of the fact that you're coming too, but haven't acknowledged you because they just don't care.
Cool.
Scott, wisdom save?
No. It hasn't been played yet.
2 things. Yondis is gonna like roll over and like try to get onto his hands and get his hands under his body and just kind of lift himself up slowly to a knee.
Mm-hmm.
And while he's doing that, he's just gonna kind of mumble, "Do you want me to show you how it works?"
You say that mumbling, and you'll actually hear the one that's holding it kind of gives a bit of a chuckle. And he's like, "I like the spirit of this one." The older one just kind of like looks at you. He doesn't like laugh or smile or anything. He just looks at you. The other younger one says, "So you're still breathing." And they say this actually in Peredhel, but it's kind of broken.
Yondis is gonna kind of just roll over and sit, so he's not on his knee anymore, and just kind of like meditate in the pain for a minute, and then respond back and say, "By a few strings," and then kind of like just kind of take inventory at what is on the ground around him that they haven't sorted through yet.
More or less everything that's on your person that isn't worn by you has been taken and has been more or less split up. Less stuff that is clearly like junk, like things that you have that's like an empty flask, rope, stuff like that. That
a non-empty flask that's a healing potion.
No, all things that are obviously potions have clearly been split up between them. Things like, like like if you're wearing a necklace or any type of jewelry that's been taken, but if you're wearing like magical armor or magical boots or cloak that's been left on you. But if there's anything that looks like it might have value, that's like a jewelry or a trinket, it's been taken.
Okay. He'll like kind of like start rubbing his head to like massage away the thumping in his brain, and he'll say, "So, how'd you find me?"
The older one, one of the younger ones says, "Look," and the older one says, in Orcish, he more or less says like, "Gah!" But in Orcish, you hear him say more or less something along the lines of "Shut it," like shut up. He looks at you and he says, "Vroga led us to you."
Was that the man with the bow and the 2 hounds?
You dare to compare Vroga to that thing?
I didn't know what that thing was, and I don't know what Vroga is.
You do know what Vroga is. That's a very common religion. Yeah. Vroga is a breaker of chains, god of battle and war.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, your previous line is perfectly fine to have said, but you definitely know. So you might say, I don't know who he was. Like, I don't know who he was. And so his response would be, that is Kudan, the terror of the Barren Lands. We know of this Kudan. He is a bounty hunter.
That makes sense. But why'd he leave me here?
He did not. You were his quarry. He took you down. I'm guessing it wasn't too much of a fight. He says, kind of like looking you up and down. One of the other orcs kind of grabs something and tosses it over so it lands by your feet. Looking down at it or picking it up, you see it's actually an arrow, like an arrow that you knock and fire out of a bow. The half of it's been split, of course, because it made contact with something hard, which causes to break. But the end of the arrow isn't a broadhead like you would typically see on an arrow. It's actually very blunted. Almost, have you ever seen like a pellet from a pellet gun? How it almost has like a very rounded, almost looks like it could be like a fist, right? So it's a very rounded head.
Beanbagged me?
Yeah, more or less, yeah. In the back of the head.
Damn it.
And knocked you out. One of the younger ones says, more value alive than dead. And the older one nods and says, he put shackles on you.
Am I wearing shackles?
You are not. Well, actually, yes, you are wearing shackles, but they've been broken. So you have full maneuverability of your hands, and you can actually take them apart if you wanted to. I mean, you're good at that stuff. So, but he said, so you look down and you're like, oh, I have manacles on, but they're broken.
I'll say, let me guess. Your religion did this? Just kind of like shaking it so it rattles.
He says, so when he says his next line to you, he says it in Orcish, and he says I am Uzul, but he says I am Uzul but the next word he uses is kind of a funny Orcish word, because like many languages, how single words can have dual meanings, or things like beer, which has 3 meanings depending on how you pronounce it or the phrasing using. The word he uses actually has 2 meanings to it. It both means savage and free. So he either tells you, I am Uzul the savage, or I am Uzul the free, or he means both. Whatever the case may be. He says it, and he says it with such tone and pride that you know that he means that as, like, oh, I imagine your religion did this. His tone or pride lets you know, I did this because of my religion. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, thanks. So where's the bowman now?
Someone such as you is an easy quarry. The 3 of us, even with his hounds, he knew now was not the time to fight.
Well, then I guess I'm in your debt, huh?
Your debt has been paid.
Oh, fantastic. So you're just gonna take my stuff and leave? Is that the idea?
I am past the years where I'd be willing to offer you other forms of gratitude.
Is that a yes?
He just gives you a glaring look that answers your question for you.
Okay, that's a yes. Can I at least have the potion? He'll point to the potion of healing.
You point to the potion of healing. He says, why?
I'm probably not going to make a walk in my current condition.
You wish not to live with the shame of your defeat? Why is there a bounty on your head?
First of all, it's not my first defeat, okay? I'm still living off the other 4 or 5. Secondly, sorry, what was this other question?
Why is there a bounty on your head?
Oh, why is there a bounty on your head? Yeah. Guess you could say I'm a bit of an insurgent. I've been helping stir up a resistance. Ow. Rub his arm.
He looks at you again, gives you like a judgmental look at how frail that arm you rub is, and it says, "How?"
With that, and he points to the banjo. And with that, and he points at his swords. Well, those is what he says.
You can use these.
Is he referencing to the swords or the banjo? Yeah. Okay, the
all of it, but yeah, the swords.
I've gotten better in the past few months, but yeah, I'd say I'm pretty adept. If my arm wasn't so sore, I'd show you, right?
You are weak. A little bird who has left the nest too soon, just waiting to be consumed by some predator that walks by. It is sad. He looks over at the pile of stuff nearby, then looks at you with like a pathetic, pitiful kind of look. Looks at the stuff and says, I'm well past the years where offers such as this should be made. But nonetheless, I see before me again a sad case. We broke your chains. You are free to go. And your payment has been made. Unless you wish to pay us in gratitude a different way. Vroga is always looking for people who are willing to do his bidding. Vroga is always looking for those who have worn shackles and are willing to break the chains of others. I have taken in some much smaller and much more pathetic than you. And the greatness that they have before them, well, it would leave an impression.
Daelric, did you ever read my DMs?
I don't know who your dungeon masters are. Here we go. Answer is yes to the first part. No idea to the second part.
The third one's a little long.
And the third one is rescinding that last part. So no longer recommended one way or the other.
Okay.
Yep. Because I had time to think. So I changed my original assessment.
Okay. So Yondis sits for a minute and he kind of like, not like pouting, but like he crosses his arms and he kind of like lurches his head and he's staring at the ground, just thinking for a few seconds. And he kind of mumbles under his breath, but to the orcs. And he says, do you believe in the idea that chains aren't always physical?
When you say that, you can actually see, I mean, he's old, he's stoic, he's heard many things, so he's not like a, but you can see there's like, in his eyes, there's a little bit of a surprise and an appreciation of what it is that you just said, that you understood. You actually have a deeper understanding of what he's offering you than just simply literally breaking metal things on people's hands. And you can see that there's an appreciation there. And the appreciation is less of you and more of, oh, good, I did not pick up a lost cause. I still got it. Okay.
So he's like relieved that I'm not stupid. Okay,
yeah.
Great.
Yep.
Okay, so
he doesn't respond. You can just see it in his eyes. He's too intense to give you a response.
Maybe like a head nod or like a eye roll, like a finally kind of thing.
Nope.
No, not even
Nothing.
that.
You can just see it in his stare.
Okay, but I'm getting that. Okay.
He's giving you the proceed.
You know, the little insurgents I was running under. Queen Rena, the Destroyer. Queen of Snakes. You heard of her? Has word traveled to the Badlands?
No.
Great. We've been working on, overthrowing some cities, freeing the common folk from the binds of a government that doesn't care for them. So in a strange way, although yours is much more direct on my life than mine is on others, I see a lot of your ideas in myself. But I have to ask, what is your goal in breaking chains?
What is my goal?
Right, yeah.
Second, is I'm like, where did I put that page?
Do you have his character sheet written out with just goals and aspirations?
No, nothing like that. But
Hopes and dreams.
Did I have you up somewhere? There
Montes?
you are. Yeah, no. Shh,
okay.
You shh. There you go. I was looking for something. He says, my goal. I worship Vroga, the breaker of chains, the god of battle, the battle fury. I am of the order of the broken chain. We are warriors, specifically trained to hunt down slave traders, slave owners, corruption. We destroy all of it. He said corruption, I meant tyranny. We destroy all of it. Our God is a God of chaos, destruction, liberation, strength, and war. My goal is Vroga's will. If you are looking to liberate these people from the tyrannical rule of their bitch god, then I think you will definitely find a place amongst us. Funny that we should bump into you. I most happily travel with 3 companions.
He has 2 companions right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yondis, kind of grunting and moaning as he does it, just kind of stands to his feet. Yeah, not like that. He stands to his feet, and he turns and he looks in the direction that he last remembers him and his friends heading towards the town. And he just kind of like this long stretch of plains stares out into the horizon, and he thinks about when he first started his journey in Vala. When he first got to Vala, he remembers, like, one of his earliest memories of being here was when he was on a wagon with people who were being collected and binded and put in wagons and sold as slaves in cities. And he remembers freeing them and how that's a goal that he achieved way, way back when. I mean, he thinks about it now in more the aspect of his how he frees people now, quote it free, by killing the leaders, the lopers that rule over them, and showing them what their true freedom, right? And then he thinks about his childhood and how he had, growing up in the capital, he's seen slaves there. They were much better off than they were in Vala, but they were still slaves, and in a sense, so were the people working 9 to 5s. No, I'm kidding. And he turns back around and he looks at the orc, and he says, "I feel like I've done nothing but let down the people around me. I think I could do a lot of good with you. So if you're offering to take me as a companion, I'll do it. But I'm going to need that banjo."
He says, he shakes his head no and says, "If you are going to come with me, there is a very important rule. One that you must acknowledge now.
No music?
You cannot liberate others until you have first liberated yourself from yourself, who you are. You must free yourself from all the chains that bind you to who you are, every aspect of them. And when you finally found true liberation, then you may wear that mantle once again, this time not shackled by it, but instead liberated by it. This banjo, if that is what you call that ghastly thing, it pins you down. It's a link to who you were, as is the rest of this. It'll all be sold. All of the coin will go into your pocket, and it'll be used to purchase new clothing, new weapons, new supplies. That's the new you will wield and use. But this banjo means too much to you. For you to come with me, you must do these last two deeds. First, you must destroy the banjo. It's a token act for you freeing yourself of who you once were. And second, you must speak your full name, for it is the last time that you will use it until you earn it again.
It's a hard bargain.
Kind of glad he doesn't have that sword of growing and shrinking that's still on Ophios.
We did make it clear that Rena had one and Ophios had another one last session.
Yeah,
make that very clear. Thank God.
But that dagger, oh!
that there is that powerful magic dagger. Hey, listen though, if people can recognize what that is, that could be worth a lot of money, and that could be used to buy him really good equipment.
Yeah.
You look like you're tied to this banjo. I will remind you one thing. The banjo is not yours anymore, whether if you stay or go. So you can continue to be bound by your shackles, or you can free yourself from them. The decision is yours. And he looks to the orc that's holding it, and he looks down at the ground, and the orc looks a little disappointed, but he places the banjo on the ground and takes a step back.
I don't want to kill my banjo. Hey,
Plays
Daelric.
the banjo, charms them all, and takes all of his equipment back.
Hey, Daelric. What's my current hit points?
1, because you just woke up.
That's what I thought.
These guys aren't looking to fight you either way.
Yeah.
Like, they're clearly like they don't need to.
They just blow on him.
The winds of God. Sorry, John Oliver. Makes me chuckle every time. Anno's only saying no because it was Anno's curse that made the banjo. So ignore Anno.
I'm sure it's the only reason.
It is.
I was like, wait.
It is actually. Anno just likes chaos.
I'm sure it's not the only reason.
For Anno? Probably. Listen, I'm in chat with Anno a lot.
There's, I could see Yondis going either way here. Probably. God damn it. Okay, yeah. So Yondis will walk up to his banjo, and he'll kind of look back at the orc. He's standing in front of it, and he's going to look at the leader orc, the older orc.
Yep. He just kind of sits back. He doesn't cross his arms or anything. He just comfortably sits like upright because he's kind of leading into the conversation. Sits upright and just watches.
And it kind of furrows his brow, and he says, no, he doesn't say anything. But he picks it up, and he's not picking it up like he's going to play it, but he picks it up like hand on the bottom, hand on the neck. And he drops to a knee, so he has one knee out like a WWE wrestler. And he holds the banjo up. And he holds the banjo up. And he says, Naga, stop, that's what I'm doing. And he's like about to bring it down. He says, before I smash it, can I just play one song?
You have this moment before you. You seize this moment or you let it pass. This is a crossroads. We have been placed before each other for a reason.
Well, you did save me. And he brings the banjo down on his knee as hard as he can. But I don't know if he's strong enough.
Yeah, I know. I was just laughing at Anna.
Strength check. Strength check.
Yeah, strength check for funsies.
He hurts himself and knocks himself unconscious again.
There goes all my hopes of being an orc. He's gonna look at me, shake his head, and walk away.
Why is that such a Yondis thing to do, though?
That I do.
The thing is, in my head, I was chanting Natty 1. Natty 1.
Oh my god.
You bring the thing down and you over your knee.
That's a clip.
And
That's a clip, yes.
It doesn't unfortunately break. It does, you can hear a little cracking of it, but something that you can still use it, you know what I mean? It doesn't fully break. But clearly the moment was meant to be there. One of the other orcs, one of the younger ones, just got like the one that was like had put it down very quickly, like being friendly. Like this is not meant to be a mean thing. He actually legitimately very quickly it's funny that that popped up because Dark Souls music just came on. So they're just changing it back to anyways,
he just pinches it between two fingers.
So he just quickly like reaches down and grabs it, and then because like it's very obvious that he's not being judgmental. Like it's very obvious that it's meant to be like we're here to guide you in your transition. So he grabs the thing up by the neck and just like with a swing turn does like we're talking like a rock and roll star like on stage swings over and just smashes the thing so it breaks up apart into a bunch of pieces. And you can feel that liberation like when it happens. As the thing shatters, and I imagine your character has this reaction to it. The other orc, the one that didn't just do that, will actually come over and will hold out his hands to help you up.
Yeah, I'll grab onto it, try to pull myself up on him.
When you stand up,
with him. I don't know.
When you stand up, it's kind of like the things you stand up and he like turns you around and you see the older orc is now standing and he kind of walked up, so he's standing close to you. It's not like uncomfortable. He's close. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like one of those like face talkers, uncomfortably close people. Anyways, he then says,
"You give me Daelric."
He says, what was your name?
Fuck. My name. He's gonna just real quick and take a quick scan and see if he can find his scroll that has his family on it.
Perception check really quickly. And but again, by the way, you know that they're not like, oh yeah, there is a bounty on your head. Haha. I can't see the result. Hold on. I think it's a 14.
It's 14.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, you can actually see that stuff kind of sparsed out. The scroll, your family name on it, because it has no literal value, it probably is in the pile of junk.
Sweet. So I'll walk over and I'll pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say, my name was Yonda Salitlin. And he's just like gripping the sheet, staring at it. And he gets a little emotional, like a little overwhelmed, but he's trying not to cry in front of these big, strong orcs.
Mm-hmm.
And he...
You can see no judgment on their faces. Zero judgment on their faces.
So he's like holding the paper, and his hands aren't like shaking, but they're not steady. Probably partially because of the injury, but also because he's like really almost afraid of what he's about to do. But like his hands are shaking, and he turns the paper sideways, and he just tears it up. And I know it's a scroll, but he tries his best.
Mm-hmm.
And he just tries to get it down,
check.
like to... If you want. He rips it in half, and he rips it in fourths, and then he can't rip it, and it's too thick. So he kind of like throws it in the air.
Light it on fire.
And and then he sits back down, obviously, because he's just like, he didn't want to give up his family name, because that, like, to a parent, especially a noble parent, family name is extremely important. So this was something that he felt like he's wanted to do, but was too afraid to do for a long time. And now that he's done it, he's not sure of what to do next, because he just kind of gave up his entire life right then and there.
You're left alone.
Or not physically. What's the word? Symbolically. That's it. Okay, go ahead.
You're left alone to be contemplative for a solid, like, probably 3-4 minutes before finally the old orc comes over and places his hand on your shoulder. But when he does so, it's not ginger by any stretch, but it's definitely meant to be a bit more fatherly, a little less firm. It's actually a lot gentler than you would have expected it would be, considering your interactions with this man so far. And he says, I want you to know this is incredibly brave, braver than most people will ever show in their entire life's collection, all done in one moment. And before you have too much doubt, he kind of tosses like a little side glance at one of the other two orcs over there that are starting to throw your stuff into like packs, or into one pack. It's no longer sparsed up; it's all being thrown into one pack, but like haphazardly thrown into one pack. He gestures over towards one of the two orcs. He sobbed like a baby.
Oh god. Oh god. Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
And again, it's actually a bit of like a fatherly squeeze of the shoulder. One of those like it lasts for like a good like 3-4 seconds, like almost like a mom hug would last, in length, but it's like a squeeze of the shoulder. And after that, it ends with like a gentle tap, and then he goes to the other two and says, he goes over to the other two and says, make sure you make us a crutch for him. The first day's walk is going to be the worst. And immediately starts getting things ready for you guys to head out to whichever direction you're going. Whatever direction that might be, it's not north. And with that, gentlemen and ladies. Because you know what? It's about time we come first. Oh, never mind. Oh.
Scott! Did you pick off of what I put in Discord a while ago as a joke?
Oh, no, I didn't. Sorry.
Did you read what I put in Discord as a joke?
Now I'm going to have to, but I did not see it. Unless you want to just read it out loud.
Scroll up. I said, we were talking about early again today because I was asking. And Messi said, I think we're implied early unless somebody actively speaks against it. And I said,
yeah.
I'm speaking against early onset orgasms because all people involved should have fun.
Yeah, and then what was it? Messi with the friggin' what's his name? Orgasm face?
Yeah.
From the Jizz in My Pants.
Adam Sandberg.
Adam Sandberg, yeah. Anyways, Andy Sandberg, whatever his name is. I don't know. He's like an Adam Sandler knockoff. He's Adam Sandler for the Zoomers. So,
I mean, I guess.
So yeah. Anyways,
with that case.
With that, gentlemen and ladies, that is the end of our session.
Yondis? The end of our Yondis?
Maybe the end of our Yondis too. I don't know. Tune in next week to see what's going down. Yep.
So I want to make a snake character.
Nope.
Called Oscar. Snake character.
I just appreciate that Scott immediately just said nope.
Yeah, I like a Oscorphia. That'll be my name. Also, I kind of want to be a warlock. Maybe would be cool.
Chat. Yeah. Before we thank you, Aklo. Thank you so much. We're gonna start saying our goodbyes, and of course, we're gonna raid at the end of it. We have two people that we can choose to raid from: Tesh or Doxy. I will gladly raid either of them. Doxy's playing D&D. Tesh is playing video games. So why don't you throw in chat who you think, and then I'll make a quick judge of what looks like the overwhelming thing is, and then we'll raid that person when we're done. But speaking of persons. That's my segue. Rena, you're barely one. But what do you do when you stream? Because you're a legend. Rena, you're a legend. That's why you're barely.
Oh, yeah, that's totally where you're going with that. Yep.
Listen, besides, we already came first, so it's your turn.
Oh, really? Wow. Gee, thanks. Anyway.
Scott! Scott! This is why it went from being an all-female cast to one female.
That is not the reason. It is not the reason.
That must be what happened.
My standards are just really fucking low. Like,
to be fair, you did settle with Messi. I mean,
yeah. Sorry, I've been waiting a long time to pull that joke against you, and you just set it up so perfectly today.
Anyway.
Oh, Graven, I'm happy. I'm happy your stream didn't fuck up the whole time. Yay! I hate when that happens when I try to watch people like Rena and Tyler who are streamers. Not Messi, he doesn't. Rena, please go first.
Yeah, I'm a streamer. You can find me at Rena the Destroyer pretty much everywhere. I actually made my first TikTok today, which was pretty exciting.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna mute her. You're up next. Go ahead, please.
Anyway,
tell us about your early 20s.
Yeah, they're great. No, anyway, I've been playing Animal Crossing. I finished The Walking Dead, but there's a couple more Walking Dead things that I can play that I'm probably gonna do. I have a couple more games on the roster as well, so I've been streaming a lot lately. So yeah, come check me out. But you should probably also check out all of these other wonderful people.
Well, hold on. This TikTok, are you going to describe it or at least drop the link in chat so we can be entertained for 15 seconds?
So TikToks work.
I mean, no. You could find me at Rena the Destroyer on TikTok. I don't want to share. I'll share it in Discord. How about that?
Oh, okay. There we go. I don't know how TikTok
has to do with
works.
Animal Crossing. So.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. It was pretty fun, but it was also very confusing. I didn't realize it would be that hard to edit. So. The app is really not as intuitive as you would think.
Okay. It's like streaming in general. It's not as intuitive as you'd hope it'd be, right? You're up next, Tyler.
Hi, yes. I'm Tyler. I play Ophios on this campaign, if you didn't know. But anyway, I have a lot going on. I have actually teamed up with a really good friend of mine named The Only Ryan, and we are doing a giveaway. So if you pop into my channel or his channel throughout this time, there's a giveaway command where you can enter in to win a pair of Astro very super awesome headsets. One for you, one for a friend. So that's something that's going on. I'm streaming a lot. YouTube video. I have a new YouTube video today, Scott.
YouTube video.
I got a new YouTube video today. And according to my editor, who seems to be doing okay, we might be switching to 2 videos a week now instead of just 1. So that might be something that's amazing. Coming up.
Oh, that's super cool.
So yeah, more YouTube videos. You can find me on YouTube, Apocalypto12, just no underscore over there, and Apocalypto_12 everywhere else. There's a lot of stuff I'm working on, a lot of stuff coming about. I've got cool things still trying to get done, but yeah, and definitely check out Rena and Messy, because Messy does stuff occasionally. But yeah, I'll be honest. I'm so sad Yondis died. Ophios is legit distraught. And I can feel it.
Don't worry. Or do. You can't decide.
I wouldn't say much better, but he's doing better. Raven Misery.
For a video idea, and please hear me out on this one. A video, it starts off a bit far away, of Tyler on a treadmill, no shirt, jogging. And the entire video is just Tyler jogging on a treadmill, no shirt, as the camera slowly gets closer and closer and closer and closer
to his monster hog.
And then at the very end of the video, when it's like very close, Tyler just turns, looks at the camera, winks, fade to black. Masterpiece.
Why?
Masterpiece. See,
even
Raven's already given 2 thumbs up. Look, that's effectively an Ebert and Roper. That is like an Ebert and Roper right there. Okay, I think those are the 2 is still alive.
Oh my God! Why?
Weird content.
Yikes!
See, just saying.
I mean, Scott, I do owe my audience a home workout video for my YouTube channel from my charity stream.
Saying that would be a perfect. It doesn't have to be crazy long. 4.5 minutes is an appropriate time. Long enough to be substantial, but not so long that it's awkward. And no background music, just like as you're like, right? Just like
breathing.
Yeah. You know, just like
watch. I go to record this and I actually end up tripping for the first time. I tried
right? Like I just
3 minutes into it.
Oh, anyways.
That would become the biggest meme. I can see it now in my community.
So keep an eye out for Tyler's new video.
Yeah, keep an eye out.
I don't have a treadmill.
You know what, Tyler, come here. You can borrow mine. I swear I haven't fighting a nasty cough and whatnot for a while. You can totally use my treadmill. I have one because I'm a boomer, and that's what we do. Speaking of, hi,
watch it collect dust in the corner. Oh, sorry.
What?
Nothing. Go ahead.
What'd you call me?
Yondis.
Why are you calling me by my D&D name? That's not me.
Because it's the last time we're gonna hear it for a while.
Damn it. Hey, what's up? I'm Messy was taken now. That's my name now. I don't know if Daelric fixed it on his cover sheet thing.
What?
Is it as easy as just editing the text?
What?
You're like offline or whatever. You're like pre-streaming thing has everyone's username.
Oh, I can't. It's. I mean, it'll take me just 3-4 minutes to fix it because of the file type. I forgot that you are not Messy Cat anymore. You are Sloppy Cat or whatever it is.
I'm a completely different person now. Yeah. I went from Messy Cat to Messy.
Oh, over here it just says Messy, which is fine. So, but on this one here we have to change it. Cool. Remind me after the stream's over.
Yeah, sounds good. I don't remember what I was gonna say, so I'll just end it there.
Well, are you working on any fun projects right now?
Well, yeah, but I can't show anything. So I mean,
your lawyer hasn't released it to the.
Yeah, no, it's completely under NDA. It's wrapped up. Actually, the Disney Studios won't let us release it yet. So
Well, that's what happens when they try to steal your IP. You got to come at them.
Yeah, big lawsuit coming our way. Actually, It's gonna be a little messy for a while. See what I did there? Okay.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. All right, chat. I hope you really enjoyed this session. There's a lot of really cool stuff that happens, so I really, really hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to go. So stay for the raid. Please come show some love and support to one of our bestest friends in the whole wide world, and we will see you sometime soon. Bye. Oh, I just realized that we're still on the away screen from when I was looking at the. Bye.
Are we waving now?